It's time for the Daily Stand Up Podcast presented by Agile Dad with your host, Lee Henson. Without any further ado, let's get started. I recently received a letter from my good friend Mike Cohn, and I thought I'd share it with you. It's talking about retrospectives. So let's dig in. It says, I've learned not to go to the supermarket when I'm hungry. If I do, I buy too much. When I'm hungry, everything looks so tasty, and I buy more than I could possibly eat. Facts. Facts. Agile teams often behave similarly in retrospectives, especially when beginning their Agile journey. During a retrospective, team members identify so many promising opportunities for improvement that they decide to tackle every single one of them. These teams will be far better off trying to improve only one or two, maybe three at most ways of working. If team members attempt to improve everything, more than that, their efforts will be too diffused, too diluted, and it will never, ever get there. I can't agree more. I have seen so many teams try to take on way more than they can chew and become disoriented, dysfunctional, even as a result of trying to do it. Part of what they need to learn is that improvement is a cycle for a reason. And I think that sometimes we burn ourselves out. There's a concept of continuous improvement, meaning that we're always trying to improve every single day, every single hour, every single minute. And sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes we need to focus on core things that we need to get done and focus on what I call continual improvement, where you're getting better each day, but it's not a constant, shoulder to the wheel, push, nose to the grindstone, get everything done, because that's just not the way things work. So improvement should be continual. He goes on to say, my favorite way to facilitate a retrospective is to use the stop, start, continue exercise. I've done this before. It's pretty good. This puts improvement ideas into each of the three categories. What are some things that we need to stop doing? What are some things we might start doing? And what should we continue doing that went well? The only problem here, Mike, that I see is that almost invites teams to say, we're going to continue doing all the things that we're still improving on and start doing new ones. So I think that sometimes it may overwhelm the team. Here we go. To help teams keep this in focus, he created a 3 improvement limit. There we go. So would that be a till? Anyway, I coached them to pick only 1 or 2 improvements in each retrospective. That leaves them 1 or 2 items to select from on their continue list. I like that. The continue list contains behaviors at which the team has made improvements but aren't yet habits, like maybe writing better unit tests or overlapping work. Once the behavior has become ingrained, teams should remove it from their continue list so that that list can remain a manageable size and you can take on 1 new continue item. That's a good idea. So what this does, and in my world, I do the 4-quadrant sticky note game where everyone gets 1 sticky note to put in each quadrant. What's one thing that brought me great joy last sprint? What's one thing that disappointed me last sprint? Notice I didn't say upset me. And notice it's about me specifically and uh, not about the team or the people, or about the product even. And then I talk about what's one area that we wish, or one thing we wish could have gone differently. What's one thing we wish we could have improved? And then last but not least, are there any kudos we want to award? And I think kudos are an important part of the retrospective that people leave out. Was there anyone who helped add value or helped you add value to the product or service you're trying to build? And I think that if you do that in a quadrants, it still gives you that limit, Mike, of 1 or 2. But it helps the team stay focused. And then you can capture the rest in the backlog as goals for the future, maybe. Capture them as 0-point backlog items that are just labeled goals. And that way, if the team needs something to fall back on, they can go back to these and say, oh, here are some goals that we may have not gotten to in the past several retrospectives or sprints. So it gives teams a chance not to lose those really good ideas. But however you choose to run your retrospective, be sure to just take away 1 or 2 concrete improvements that you can track as part of your next sprint. Make sure you put them in there as 0-point backlog items. Make sure they're in your face and you know that you can do them. And don't forget, at the beginning of the next retrospective, the very first thing you should do is go back and say, did we address those goals? How did we do? What progress did we make? Those are the things you need to do in order to succeed with Agile. Mike, always awesome. I love your emails. Keep them coming. If you have a topic that you want us to discuss, learn more at agiledad.com. We'd love to hear from you. Let's keep it short and sweet. As always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.